officials of the Ateneo professional schools, the administration and the faculty of the School of Law, Associate Dean Lenny Panganiban, Justice Adolfo Ascuna, members of the graduating class and their families, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Nais ko po munang pasalamatan si Dean Cesar Villanueva para sa karangalang may pakilala ang ating panaunihing pandangal at tagapagsalita. I have an idea why Dean Villanueva chose me to undertake this task, although it is not true that he made such a choice on the basis that the color of the toga I am wearing is the same as his. I have had the privilege of introducing the Chief Justice on a few occasions. And on one such occasion, I did say that as the head of a co-equal branch of government, protocol should dictate that the Chief Justice be introduced in the same manner as the President of the Republic of the Philippines, dignifiedly short. But Mr. Chief Justice, I must seek your indulgence to introduce you less formally and more personally this evening, given that many of our Jesuit Gentile friends may not know who you are. Not many are aware that our current Chief Justice grew up amidst a challenge-filled atmosphere where he was deprived of his basic constitutional rights. The youngest of 4 children, he was born from impoverished parents who died while he was still in school. A product of 2 excellent public schools, one Luna Elementary School and Mapa High School, our guest speaker overcame a resourceless childhood to achieve not only his dream of becoming a lawyer, but every lawyer's dream of becoming the Chief Justice of the Philippines. To support his studies, he hawked newspapers and Bibles, peddled cigarettes, and shined shoes. He once recounted how, in order to obtain copies of textbooks, he collected money from his classmates, which he then used as a bargaining chip to obtain a complimentary copy of the textbook from the bookstore. Deprived of his right to information as a student, he became president of the country's largest newspaper, the Philippine Daily Inquirer. And not having enough books growing up, he has since written 10 books and counting, penned more than 1,000 full-length Supreme Court decisions, plus several thousand minute resolutions, a feat which had led a Supreme Court colleague to describe him as the most prolific writer of the court, bar none. For college, our guest speaker won a scholarship to the University of the Philippines. It is no secret that he wanted to attend UP. But because his family could not afford the 15-centavo jeepney fare from his Sampaloc home to Diliman, he could not enroll at UP. Denied of his right to travel as a student, our honorary vowed that his children would not suffer the same plight. Hence, not only are his children well-traveled, but they are all graduates of pedigreed universities in the United States. And to make sure that his family's right to travel will never again be curtailed, he founded what was at one time the largest travel agency in the Philippines, Baron Travel. Our guest of honor then decided to take the entrance exam at UST, which was walking distance from his Sampaloc home. Predictably, he breezed through the written part of the examinations with flying colors. But in his final interview, a Dominican priest asked him to explain the concept of the Holy Trinity. Having received little religious instruction at home and in the public schools he had attended, he was naturally dumbfounded. He reportedly blurted out, "Sus Mariose, Padre, hindi na ituro sa akin yan." A remark which led to his ultimate rejection. Deprived of his right to free exercise of religion, he not only became an active Catholic lady leader, Vice Chairman and Chief Legal Counsel of the Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting, but he also became the only Filipino appointed by Pope John Paul II to the Pontifical Council of the Laity for a 5-year term beginning in 1996. Such council is composed of 30 Catholic leaders chosen by the Pope from various countries worldwide to advise the Pope on all matters involving the Christian life of the faithful. Our guest speaker therefore had to, open quotations, settle, close quotations, for FEU, which was also nearby. FEU not only provided the academic training needed to excel in the bar exams, he placed 6th in the 1960 bar, and in law practice. FEU also taught him the real-world skills needed to thrive in his chosen profession. Later, I hope that the Chief Justice will tell our graduates the difference between a good, a great, and an excellent lawyer. Indeed, FEU is the stone that the builders rejected, but which has become the cornerstone. Before you were appointed Chief Justice, certain Ateneo law faculty would remark that FEU stood for Fallen Eagles University. But after you became Chief Justice, FEU now stands for Flying Eagles University. And yet, the Chief Justice is very much an Atenean at heart. For while he wanted to go to school at UP, he wanted to go to school to UST, and ended up at FEU. He had supposedly seen the light because he sent his only son to Ateneo, and he graduated from Meralco College here at the Ateneo. And also 3 of his 4 daughters obtained their college degrees from the Ateneo. Although last night I found out that it was apparently Mrs. Panganiban who insisted that her children go to a Jesuit university. The constitutionally violated youngster has now become the Constitution's leading champion. He has consistently been on the right side of landmark Supreme Court decisions, including the Manila hotel case, the mining case which he penned, and just 3 days ago, the decision of EO 464, which led our revered former Dean Joaquin Bernas, the so-called guru of destabilization, to say that he is now sure that the Chief Justice will be received most warmly by the Ateneo administration, faculty, and graduates. In closing, during the retirement ceremony for their Chief Justice Davide on December 19, 2005, a senior palace advisor close to the president was asked who was going to replace Davide. This advisor was supposedly overheard as saying, "Nayuyupi na ang Korte Suprema sa dami ng mga taga-Diliman. Tama raw si Panganiban dahil pusong Atenean niya." Ladies and gentlemen, it is once again my distinct honor and privilege to introduce the Chief Justice of the Philippines, Mr. Chief Justice Artemio V. Panganiban.